All right. Now let's move on to the third and final example. Okay. And I know this is shocking, I know this is surprising, but over the course of the semester, I will give you enough evidence to convince you that this is all true, okay? But I'm just setting up the structure and the framework today. All right, let's do school. Guys, why do we have school? Why are we in school? Why? Why are you here? What?
Someplace learn and teach.
Exactly, right? Learn. What else? Yeah, to get the degree, okay? To get the degree. Okay, to graduate. What else?
To have knowledge.
Knowledge, yes. Yeah.
The power chance to brainwash the students.
Excuse me?
I feel like give a power a chance to brainwash us.
Brainwashing. Okay, guess what, guys? The correct answer is brainwashing. Everything else is a lie. Okay. All right. What do you do in school? You come to class, you listen to a lecture, you read books, right? And then you have to do a test, and you have to write a paper. And then the teacher gives you a grade. That's how you learn, right? Let me ask you this question then. Throughout most of human history, how did we learn? If you want to become a doctor, what did you do?
To be a good, to be fast and long.
The answer is experience. Do it. Right? Let me ask you this question. Let's say you're 12 years old. You're going to be a doctor, okay? There are two paths ahead of you. The first path is, you know what? I'm going to put you in a hospital, and you're going to learn there for like 10 years. Someone's going to mentor you. You're going to be that person's apprentice. Maybe the first year, all you do is like wash the floor, okay? But you're going to observe the doctor. And then eventually, the doctor's going to tell you how to treat patients, okay? That's the first system. Second system is you go to the best school in the world. Then you go to Harvard for undergraduate. Then you go to Harvard Medical School, the best medical school in the world. Okay? At age 30, who's a better doctor, number one or number two?
First one.
Obviously the first one, right? Because the second person, the person who went to Harvard and Harvard Medical School, did not ever work in a hospital. You understand? Now, let me ask you another question. In the first system, do you have to be really, really smart to be a good doctor?
No.
You don't, actually. Anyone can be a doctor in the first system. Anyone. We human beings are all born with the capacity to learn anything if you wanted to learn it, right? If you want to be an engineer, if you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a scientist, you want to be anything, okay? Just go find a mentor who can teach you how to do so. And I guarantee you that you will learn how to do it well. And anyone can do this. But instead, we have a system in which we tell students, you're smart, you're stupid. Smart students go to good schools and good universities, and they get good jobs. Stupid students go wash dishes. Okay? And that was not true for most of human history. It's true today, but throughout most of human history, if you had to go learn something, all you had to do was go find a teacher. And that teacher would teach you. And then you would learn it. Right? So school is not a place to teach you how to learn. A school doesn't teach you knowledge. It doesn't do that. A school is a place that brainwashes you. Okay? Now the question then is, what does it brainwash you in? Why would it brainwash you? Okay, all right, to answer that, I'm going to give you some history, okay? We will do a lot of history in this class. But I'm going to tell you the three societies that first introduce mandatory, free, public schooling in the world, okay? The first is called Sparta. Okay? Sparta was a small city-state in Greece, like 3,000 years ago. And they had a new system in which children as early as 5 or 6 years old, they were put into a school. And in the school, they were beaten up by older kids who were like 9 or 10. Okay? That's Sparta. The second society was called the Aztecs. And they also provided free compulsory education to all its children. Really good, right? And the third society is called Prussia. And actually, Prussia is a system that everyone uses today. Do you guys know any history? Okay? What is common about all three societies? Sparta, Aztecs, and Prussia.
No, it's all the 教育体育.
What is common to all three? Okay. War. All three societies are fundamentally war societies, dedicated to defeating their neighbors. Sparta was one of thousands of city-states in Greece. The only society of these thousands that had compulsory education. Why? Because Sparta was first and foremost engaged in war making. Sparta, you've heard of Spartans, right? It's the Spartan warrior. Okay? The Aztecs were the greatest war society in Central America before the arrival of the Europeans. They defeated everyone. They were engaged in war. They also did a lot of human sacrifice as well. Okay, we learn about the Aztecs later on. Prussia, the Prussians, the greatest military in Europe for centuries. They were engaged in war making as well. Okay, do you understand this? Why we have schools is because schools are really good at preparing people for war. Why? Excuse me?
They have people and they can teach some kids how to do with the war. Why, let me ask you this question. Why did they not have schools before? Why is it that people are like, we don't want schools? Why? Again, the Sparta, Aztecs, and Prussia were the few societies that had free public schooling. Why didn't other societies just copy them? Why? I think the knowledge should be traded with money.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Let's just say you're a mother or father. And you have a child, right? What's the worst thing that could happen in your life?
No parents?
No, your mother or your father. You have a child, right? What's the worst thing that can happen to you in your life?
Wrong.
Your child is taken away from you, right?
Oh.
What does school do? School is designed to take your child away from you. Okay? Let me ask you this question. If school was about learning, why don't parents and children go to school together? Yeah, why not? Why?
Because they have to work to make money to survive.
Because parents have to work to survive, right? There's actually a better reason why.
School is provides the social, they must have two people to do something.
Okay, it's about brainwashing, right? Because how do you brainwash someone,
Yeah.
right? If you're with your parent, are you going to be brainwashed? No. Because you feel loved, you feel secure. Your parents are going to protect you. You're going to ask your parent, hey, is this teacher, is he or she lying to me? And the parent's like, yeah, he's lying to you, okay? It's only because you've been taken away from your parent that you are now willing to be brainwashed. Why? Because what happens if you leave your parents? How do you feel? How do you feel? Yeah, exactly, right? Insecure. You're anxious. You're afraid. Do you understand? You've lost your parent. You're 4, you're 5, you're 6 years old. You've lost your parent. You feel really insecure. So who do you trust?
Teacher.
Your teacher. Whatever your teacher says is now correct.
One of our parents was also brainwashed, like, because they went to school before when they were small.
Yeah, okay, that's a great point, okay? Aren't our parents brainwashed as well? That's correct. Your parents are brainwashed. But what I'm saying is, when a parent is with a child, the child feels secure. And if you're secure, you're much more willing to disobey authority. You're much willing to ask questions. You're much willing to think for yourself because you feel secure, because your parent is there to protect you. But if you take the parent away, you can't do that. You must now rely on the teacher who can now brainwash you. Okay?
So are you brainwashing us?
Am I brainwashing you? Okay.
Maybe it's a jar too.
Okay. All right. Okay. So the question is, am I brainwashing you? Okay. That's a good question. And it's a fair question. And again, that's why I tell you this. Okay? You have the capacity to ask me questions. You have the capacity to challenge me. You have the capacity to think for yourself. Okay? So all I'm saying is, hear me out, ask me questions, and then think for yourself whether or not I make sense. Because the difference between my class and other classes is like, I don't test you, right? I don't give you grades. It's a pass-fail class. You can actually choose to say, you know what, this is nonsense, I don't want to listen anymore. I can't stop you. Okay? But in school, guess what happens if you don't come to school? Your parents get arrested. All right? Do you understand? That's the difference. It's your choice whether or not to pay attention or not. All right, so another question is, okay, if schools are designed to brainwash you, what are they brainwashing you in? Well, they're designed to brainwash you to believe a concept called the nation state. The nation state. The schools are designed to brainwash you to think the nation state exists. It is a person, Mother China. You must love this person. You must be willing to sacrifice yourself for this person. You must be willing to dedicate yourself to this person because it is Mother China. And how do we brainwash you? We teach you language, right? We teach you history. We teach you geography. We teach you all this to make you believe that the nation state, Mother China, the United States, France, they all exist. But guess what? Throughout most of human history, it was absurd to think the nation state existed. Okay? Before, you didn't say, I'm Chinese. Before you say, I'm a Beijinger. Or I'm from Haidian. Or I'm from Chaoyang, right? Because that makes more sense. You're from a place where you know the people. But now, because of the nation state, you are forced to believe that you are the same person as someone from Yunnan, Tibet, Guangxi, even though, guess what, guys? You have absolutely nothing in common. Okay? But you're all Chinese. And that's what school is designed to do. School is designed to implant in you a false memory of a nation state. Okay? That's what history is. History is the false memory of a nation state. And that's why you're all forced to go to school. Okay?
Maybe like they also want you to just think about degrees and work as a normal person, not to create a new business or with yourself.
Yeah. So the point of school is to serve the nation state. Do you understand?
Oh.
Right? Does that make sense? If you believe in the nation state, if you believe in Mother China, then you must serve her. You must obey her. You must fight for her. You must die for her. Okay? So the idea of the nation state was created in order to make you obedient to authority. And it works very effectively. Yeah?
I'm just wondering if this context only works out in the Chinese context, like
All countries are nation states, okay? So I mean, like, I'm not saying China is different from other places. China is exactly the same as other places.
Okay? What you will learn in this class is how do we get to this place? Because again, the three things that we learn, okay? Money, the individual, the nation state. These are all ideas and concepts beyond the human experience. If you try to work this out from first principles, if you try to figure this out by yourself, you couldn't do it. You have to be brainwashed into believing these three things. If someone from the past, maybe 1,000 years ago, were to come today and you would explain the concept of money, individual, and nation state, the person would be like, wait a minute here. This means that you're all slaves. Okay? So now the question then is, where do we get these three concepts from? What you will learn in this class is these three concepts come from a revolution in human thought called monotheism. The one true God. This idea, monotheism, forever changed the course of human history. And it gave us these concepts of money, individual, and nation state. Monotheism is such a powerful idea that it turned nothing into everything. Okay? That's what you will learn in this class. We will learn about monotheism, and we will discover how it created money, individual, and the nation state, and it basically created the world that we live in today. Okay? All right. Any questions?
Is Christian monotheism?
Excuse me?
Christianity is monotheism.
Okay, yeah, so there are three great monotheistic religions, right? Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. What I will show you later on is it's basically the same religion. Okay? Yeah. All right. Okay, so I don't want to give you too much information, okay? Because there's a lot to process. But I want you guys to remember the concepts. Money, individual, and nation state are all powerful concepts that are embedded into everyday life. You cannot escape it. Okay, you've been brainwashed into thinking that they all exist, when in fact, they actually don't exist. And that's how power works. What power is, okay? What power truly is what we call alchemy. Alchemy, throughout human history, was the pursuit of turning lead into gold. Okay? Lead into gold. Okay? Nothing into everything. That's what alchemy was. And maybe in science class, you're taught that alchemy is this fake science. It's a pseudoscience, and it did not work. What you will learn in this class is we achieved alchemy. Okay? We turn nothing into everything. We turn lead into gold. Or that's what power is. Power is the capacity to turn nothing into everything. Power is the capacity to make you believe that money is valuable. That the individual can lead to happiness. That the nation state exists. That's what power is. Okay? And as a result, today we live extremely miserable lives. Okay? So you've been taught to think that, oh, life just gets better and better. What you will learn in this class is actually, nope, okay? And what's really important is you will also learn in this class that this was an accident. Okay? This was just an accident. It's an accident of the human imagination. It's because we didn't know what we were doing that we created this system. So what you also learn is that if you're able to control the human imagination, you can use it to create a new system that allows for eudaimonia, or the flourishing of the human intellect. Okay? All right. Any questions? Okay, so that's it for today. Okay, I'll see you guys next class.